Welcome, everybody. A very warm welcome. Boy, oh boy, is this city hot. Tonight is a celebration, not only of Cardano, but it's a celebration of the community that's brought us so far. I think there's one person that we all want to hear from. Please welcome Charles Hoskinson.
Welcome to Austin, Texas. I'm sorry I couldn't make it any cooler, but it's good to see everybody here. I think we had about 1,800 people who registered, and more keep trickling in. That's a lot for a ghost chain, huh? It's amazing, isn't it? You know, my first Bitcoin event I signed up for had 3 people. One guy was there to use the bathroom, and the other guy didn't show up. And look at where we're at as an ecosystem. And that wasn't too long ago. You know, Cardano started as kind of a basic idea. We said, hey, we'd like to change the world, but to do that, we need some good tech, and we need some good principles, and we need a clear mission. In terms of technology, we said, we just like simple principles. Should be pretty scalable. As people join, it works better or the same. Should talk to everything. Interoperability. You get that with Wi-Fi, you get that with Bluetooth. Why not with blockchain? And then finally, governance. We said, you need to have some way of deciding how to update the protocol, some way of deciding how to spend funds, some way of paying for development, not just today, but 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. Pretty simple. 3 things: scalability, interoperability, governance. 2015, oh, pipe dream. But we built an army together. You guys, scientists, engineers, marketers, business professionals, all kinds of people. We did it together. Not one company, dozens of companies. And now I got 80 damn logos on my shirt, and that's 80, just less than 10% of the people currently building. 3.5 million people across the world. How about that? And we built it together, each and every one of you. I had a demo yesterday from Cornucopias. Interesting project. And they said, hey, look, we're building in the Unreal 5. And I said, how'd you guys meet each other? And they said, funny story. One of us was a Catalyst Fund 1 participant, and the other guy was doing some stuff with a .NET integration, and you happened to make a video about it, and you said 3 words: we need that. So we called each other, and we talked to each other, and $10 million later, Cornucopias is here. They're building. It's a great project. It employs 40 people. They met each other through Cardano. Y'all ever been to Barcelona? There's a hotel there from Alfred. He's an OG man, and he came to our very first I/O summit that we held. We had it in Portugal. That was put on a long time ago by Tamara Hassan. She's somewhere around here. She got the job of having to figure out how to put on a conference. We'd never done that before, and we did. And he showed up, we had dinner together, and he said, you know, I'm just going to convert my hotel into a Cardano-themed hotel. And I was like, oh, sure. Now it is. There's pictures and paintings. It's called the Hotel Cardano. You pay an ADA. You see, this is the magic of what we've built together. 5 million assets issued on it. Amazing companies like World Mobile. Where's World Mobile? Where are you guys at? World Mobile. Yeah, there you go. Fresh from Zanzibar. And what are they doing at World Mobile? They're giving the world a democratized, decentralized internet. Think about that. No monopolies anymore. No more kings, no more power brokers, evil CEOs, all these things. They go away. And they're doing it in one of the poorest countries of the world. And if they do it right, it's not going to be. It's going to be one of the richest. And they're teaching the rest of the world how to do that. We have other people like Meld. Where's Meld at? There you go. There's James Bowater. You're always representing. And there's that bull over there with Meld on it. I think I'm going to ride it today. Yeah, there you go. We got a guy dressed as a lobster over there. Does anybody know how Logan got his name? All of you. You named him, not me. Smart contract on Cardano. I thought we didn't have smart contracts. I guess we have enough to name a lobster. How about that? So why consensus? Well, you know, we've gotten to a point where the community is in charge. We've gotten to a point where the builders are defining Cardano. And the world knows about me. Believe it or not, I've gone to a few conferences throughout the days, and I do an AMA every now and then. Anybody watch those AMAs? A few people. But the problem is they don't know you yet. And that's the point. We held this event to bring you guys to Consensus, the biggest, most prominent, most professional event in the cryptocurrency space, or so the CoinDesk sponsor people tell me. They're never wrong, right? And I said, all right, well, you say that we have no users. You never include us in the reports. It's about time we bring everybody here so everybody can see a Cardano t-shirt. Everybody can see who's building on Cardano. We're here, and we're not going anywhere. We got a lot to come. We got a lot to build. We got pipelining coming out soon, SIP 31, 32, 33, SIP 40. And you know, Matthias mentioned something, Bencourt, the new open source director at the Cardano Foundation, that I thought was pretty cool and pretty special. More than 50% of all the changes in the Vossel hard fork are from SIPs. 50%. Half of all the changes, more than half, are from you, the community. Things that were written, discussed, proposed, back and forth. Where did we get business and technical requirements for things like reference inputs? Well, the Plutus team thought about it, but where'd they get the inspiration? Where'd they have the discussion? From the Cardano DeFi Alliance, from dApp developers, from the Ergo community, from people all about industry. That's how it should work, right? That's decentralization. I just did an interview with Ledger. Ada's coming to Ledger Live. Some people like that. And while talking to them, they said, you know, it was really weird working with Cardano. I say, how's that? Why is that? And they said, well, we didn't talk to a company. We did the whole thing through Castalyst. And it was weird because there was no CEO or business person. It was the community. We were directly engaging with them, and they were asking questions. We didn't know who was in charge or which things to prioritize. I said, you mean like Bitcoin? They're like, yeah, kind of like that. It's like, yeah, that's decentralization. That's how it's supposed to be. Go figure. How messed up is it in 2022 that you have to explain to a blockchain company how decentralization works? That's the sad state of affairs in this industry. That's another reason why we came here to Consensus. We came here to remind people that principles matter. We came here to remind people that decentralization matters. We came here to remind people that it's not about when moon and yields and all these other things. It's about changing the damn world. And how do you do it? You do it with a community. You don't do it with leaders. You don't do it with pyramids. It's a big circle. You do it with all of us together, working together. And each and every person, somehow, some way, with your own wants, needs, desires, opinions, you find a way to converge and get it done because we need to get it done. This world is falling apart. $32 trillion in debt. Every institution lacks honesty. No one believes anything anymore. No one trusts anybody anymore. Every time someone says something, there's always some cynical asshole who says, that can't possibly be true. That's the world we live in today. Cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology, at their core, are about hope. At their core, they're about saying that we actually have agency as people. We do not need leaders. We do not need great people. Instead, we can just work together, voluntary, come together and change things together. It can be a new voting system, a new supply chain system. It can be clean drinking water. By the way, there are stake pools doing that very thing in Africa today, right now. It could be about feeding people in your local community. By the way, there are people in Cardano doing that today in Buenos Aires and other places right now. It's not hypothetical, it exists, it's here. These people exist. It can be whatever your local problem is. These are tools. They belong to no one and they're for everyone. That's the power and why so many people show up when it's 100 degrees outside. It's why so many people come to Austin, Texas, to remind the cryptocurrency space that this is what really matters, what open for business really means. It's a privilege watching it. It's easy to lose hope. You ever been on Twitter? You ever been on Reddit? You ever read some books? Yeah. It's easy to be cynical It's easy to levy criticism. It's easy to be a pathological complainer. Every day tell people what they're not, what they can't do, what you're allowed to do. It's a hell of a lot harder to say, I've had enough, I'm just going to do it differently, and fuck it, let's see what happens. That's where our industry came from. In 2009, Bitcoin had no value. No one cared about it. It was fragile. A single person or entity. The hash rate would double or triple in a day. When they went on vacation, stopped mining, it would drop dramatically. See how fragile that is. And look at it today. I was in Mongolia not too long ago. Camel herder had it. Think about that. You go to Dubai, you have a king say, we need to make some regulation about that. You have a nation state adopt it. That's incredible. A religion, actually to the Central African Republic. This guy knows. 44 central banks were invited to El Salvador to have that conversation. And that's just the beginning. 10 years ago, we were talking about, God, how do we get PayPal to talk about us? Man, it would be so great if, like, Larry Page said something. Boy, it'd be really cool if Bill Gates mentioned something. Well, lo and behold, everybody loves Bitcoin and no one likes Bill Gates. I think we won. And Cardano, in many ways, is a spiritual successor. You see, great innovations always stand on the shoulders of giants. A lot of things were beautiful and right about Bitcoin. There were a lot of incredible ideas. The accounting model, UTXO, it's good, but it can be better. So extended UTXO. There's a lot of good principles on how to build things with good security. So the GKL model explained that in a very precise technical way, which gave guidance on how to build a great consensus algorithm, Ouroboros. Now we're here. And in many ways, I think Cardano is a spiritual successor to the things that Bitcoin got started. It has many of the same principles of it's leaderless and no one's in charge and it gets ever more decentralized and it's growing like a weed. However, it's useful. You can do more with it than just buy, hold, store, and send. 5 million assets you created. Some here, you can talk to the people doing it. Whole worlds and metaverses are being created. ISPs on a blockchain. Anybody see the Dish deal? Think about that, 22 million people, and that's small from where we're going. A nation state has entrusted this ecosystem to the credentials of its youth, the K through 12. Think about that. And that's just the beginning. The real value comes from you. Every person in this audience. You're the ones who on this technology will build the next Microsofts and Googles and Apples. The difference is instead of don't be evil, it'll be can't be evil. They'll be fair. We hear a lot of political words like equity, fairness, equality. Oh, we need everyone to be equal. These things. Have we ever constructed in history a social system where that's the case? Where the billionaires play by the same rules as the poorest amongst us? No, not until we created cryptocurrencies. This is the first time ever where you, as the users, have the same rights and controls and access as the creators of the system. Forever. This is the first time ever as a social system where you can rise above the creators of the system. This is the first time ever where you can disagree with the creators of the system, piss them off, yell at them, mock them over Twitter, complain about their funny shoes, say they shouldn't wear boots. And lo and behold, it works exactly the same way the day after. You don't have any fear. That's how life should be. No matter what you believe, what you vote for, who you love, where you live, the language you speak, the country you're from, you should be treated with respect and dignity. How about that for a fucking change? So, instead of saying, let's do this, we did it. We put it into our protocol. And you are now the custodians, the stewards, the guardians of that. Each and every one of you hold that true. You see, Gauguin's nearly done. Vassal, you just watched the video on input endorsers. Beautiful work. Amazing technology with Mithril and extended UTXO and all these things. And so it's better, faster, and cheaper. But the real heart and soul of Cardano is what comes next, and again, why we held this event. Voltaire. You're in charge. DREPs. You're in charge. The SIP process. We have our first SIP editor working for the Cardano blockchain. Sebastian, are you here, man? Where's he at? He's probably somewhere in this sea of people. Seba, DC Spark, used to work for Emergo. He woke up one day and said, you know, I'd like to be a full-time SIP editor, but I need somebody to pay me. Did he call me? No. Did he call the foundation? No. Who did he call? You, the community, the blockchain. And he said, I want to work for Cardano. That's my employer. And guess what? He works for you now. So every SIP we write, he reads for you. And he left a model for others to do the same. Here's what's going to happen. My predictions sometimes come true. Sometimes they're a little late. They're eventually true. Eventually. I predict in 5 years' time, we will have thousands, if not tens of thousands of people working directly for the Cardano blockchain, the Cardano ecosystem. You, ambassadors, auditors, SIP editors, marketers, business professionals, legal professionals, spontaneously forming up. Very different interview process. Somebody just wakes up and says, you know what, I'm just going to go work for a machine. And they do. Go to Catalyst. That's coming. The hard fork combinator is now in your possession. That's coming. D's gone. The system parameter is gone. No way to go back now. You can never decentralize. It's over. 100% forever. You're in control of that. That's the most meaningful thing. In the coming months, we're going to create a decentralization index at University of Edinburgh called the EDI, the Edinburgh Decentralization Index. Our problem with this industry is everybody uses the same damn words again and again and again and again and again. And they never explain what the hell they actually mean. How many people here have a good definition of decentralization that's rigorous, measurable, meaningful? Like the definition of obscenity. Some people would consider a lobster suit offensive. Sorry, Harris. So how about we create an objective definition and build it as a community? The same for performance. What the hell does TPS mean when we have a chain where one transaction can do 100 transactions from another system? It's meaningless. So that's the other thing that we're doing together as an ecosystem, as a community. And again, leading in this ecosystem, leading in the cryptocurrency space. For some damn reason, nearly 14 years into this, nobody in the space seems to want to define decentralization or throughput or other foundational things we need to do. So we're doing it together as an army because we have to. Because regulation will be based upon it. Businesses will be based upon it. Billions of dollars will be invested based upon it. Decisions are going to be made based upon the foundations we're building together. We're tired because we're having to carry the load of the whole industry. And I'm glad that I have your backs as well, because it's a heavy burden. I was in Washington, D.C. I almost got all the muck off of me and all the swamp off of me just a few weeks ago. It was the culmination of 6 months of discussions with politicians, lawmakers, all these people floating around, regulators. Yesterday they announced the Lummis-Gillibrand bill. First time ever we got some decent regulation. And what makes it special, this bill, is it's the first time ever that people from Washington actually called up people in our industry and listened to them. Not pretended to, like BitLicense, but actually listened to us and talked to us and engaged with us. And we got something out as a community, and that's just the beginning. In the coming 12 months, more is going to happen in this industry and in this world than has ever happened in the last 14 years in the cryptocurrency space. Standards are going to be set. Laws are going to be made. Decisions are going to be made that fundamentally change how you use cryptocurrency, what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, who's a criminal, who isn't. And we have some choices to make. Do we want to live in a world of liberty and freedom, or do we want to live in a world where people tell us what we're allowed to do? People who we don't like, don't know, don't trust, and don't trust us. I'd like to live in the former. And that's another reason we came, because the people writing that bill are here. And we came to talk, to listen, learn, and assist in helping us get our freedoms back and our lives back, our money back, our voice back. The future must be decentralized because it's not worth living in a future that isn't. So The more you learn about Cardano, the more you realize that every part of its DNA really was carefully thought out to facilitate that. We got brutally criticized for going through the peer review process. Let's think about why we did that. Outside of the fact that maybe it's good to live with high quality protocols and checks and balances and independent verification of work, the true reason at the core is decentralization. Why? Because the professors change, the institutions change, the graduate students change, the postdocs change. The system does not. Who will write the papers 50 years from now? Who will come up with the innovations a century from now? Harvard will still be here. Oxford will still be here. They've stood the test of time, some for over 1,000 years. They've given us the physics we've come to know and love. They've given us the mathematics we've come to know and love. So how about we base our innovation engine on a community that is decentralized? The sun never sets on Cardano's academics. From Tokyo Institute of Technology in Japan, all the way to people at Stanford. We work together as one. 140 papers, that's going to seem small in 10 years. There'll be thousands of them. And every single one of them, open source, patent-free, your property as much as they are mine, and that is what will give us the innovation we need to solve the problems of the future. Simple concept, right? Or we could just move fast and break things. We can patent things, we can control things, and claim that some brilliant person will get there because market cap. It's pathetic. And you look at all the other things. An open source project is coming soon. Another great innovation of this year. The time has come for the development of Cardano to be truly a members-based open source program. With hundreds of companies, the people on this shirt, writing the code along with everyone else. The time has come for this. So, in the coming months, announcements will be made. In the coming months, people will be recruited. And one of the reasons why we wanted to bring as many dApp developers here as possible is we wanted to say, come on, guys, write infrastructure. Come on, guys, write some code. Become core developers. We need hundreds of them, thousands of them. And they have to be all around the world. Governance steering committee, technical steering committee. There's a lot of work to do in constructing a proper open source project. There's a lot of work to do in doing intersourcing. Thousands and thousands of hours. We're here to do it. You're here to do it. We're going to get it done. And we're going to show the rest of the industry how to get it done. So they do it too, or die. Because no chain can survive unless they are decentralized. No chain can survive unless they've learned to listen. No chain can survive unless what's on the label is in reality. Just that simple. And that's who we are. We've worn our heart on our sleeves. That's why I do the AMAs. That's why I talk to you. That's why we keep talking to you. That's why we keep engaging with you. We have nothing to hide. I can't tell you how many times my team says, don't announce this, don't announce that. And they say, isn't it funny, a ship that leaks from the top? I have the hardest time in the world not mentioning deadlines or releases or secret projects or these things, because anytime I hear it, my first impulse is I get excited. I want to share it. I want people to collaborate. Like, I'm not supposed to mention this, but we have a light wallet coming out. And we're going to show you guys. It's called Lace, lace.io. They said, don't mention that. I said, all right, I promise I won't. Well, I guess I did. Because that's who we are. That's what we're about. We don't build things alone. We build it together. We build it with you. You're special. Because you're here. You showed up. And that's how you make a movement. It's not the great people. It's not the great things. It's the tireless actions of everyday people, small actions, summing together that create a great society. We got a lot of trees to plant. We got a lot of hard decisions to make. We got some more storms to weather. But we're going to get it done because we got an army. Thank you all for being part of this.